Hello, good evening, and welcome. My name's Andrew Pugsley, and you have tuned in to Isolation. This is my weekly improvised show where I gather some amazing guest performers and we improvise a 30 or so minute improvised short film. If you've not watched the show before, everything you're about to see is completely made up on the spot. And if you have watched the show before, it's also made up on the spot. As always, I'm joined sort of celestially over the internet airwaves by the musical talents of the incredible Duncan Walsh Atkins, who'll be providing some improvised musical underscore throughout this evening. Duncan, can you give us a little tinkle on the airwaves? Lovely. That was a beautiful little tinkle. That was most delicate and delightful. Thank you, Duncan. We'll be having some music from Duncan Walsh Atkins throughout the story today. And my guest this evening on tonight's show is a very splendid man. He's my colleague in the Showstopper, the improvised musical. He's also an amazing West End performer. He's performed on the West End and Broadway with Mischief Theatre and all kinds of amazing things. It is none other than Matthew Cavendish. Hello, Matt. How are you this evening?
Good evening. Yeah, I'm very well, thank you, Andrew. How are you?
I'm also very well. Thank you for asking. Most polite of you. Now, Matt, what are you looking forward to this evening? What kind of suggestions would tickle your fancy for the improvised story we're about to do?
Ooh, something with some drama, I think. Something that will really get people on the edge of their seats, you know, Andrew?
Absolutely. Lovely. Yeah. Well, let's turn to the suggestions. I think already some people have been putting some comments in the feed. Thank you for that. There's still time. You can put whatever you want to suggest in the comments. It might be character names. It might be a thing to happen. It might be a title for this evening's story. You can do that right now and all the way through the show, and we will use some, all, or none of them at some point. So let's have a look. Matt, what do you like the look of so far that we've got up in the comments there?
There's been some absolute belters.
I'm glad you said that. I was worried for a second about what you're about to say, but I'm glad they're belters.
I thoroughly enjoyed the rival bingo callers.
Nice.
One has just come up here that says the haunted dress, which evokes a lot of atmosphere.
Yeah. The haunted dress.
The murderous optician, quite a sort of horror theme.
Oh, yeah. Murderous optician, the haunted dress, yeah. Are there any of these that have come up so far, Matt, that you think would make a lovely title for this evening's show?
Whitby Lucky Duck has just come up, and I think that's too good an opportunity to pass up.
Whitby Lucky Duck. That is amazing. Whilst you fill for however long it takes me to type in the words Whitby Lucky Duck, then I will type in Whitby Lucky Duck.
Good evening, Lockdown Britain. I think Britain is quite a broad term for who we are broadcasting to, but you never know. Is it lockdown anymore? Who really knows? I mean, I've no idea.
There we go. That was excellent filling, Matt.
Done?
Absolute
Okay.
top-notch filling. Thank you very much. Okay, Duncan, Matt, and it's time for us to go get on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, this is this evening's performance of Isolation. What a performance. What a performance.
I'm glad you appreciated it, Steve.
Oh, Davey, can I just say that in all my years as a bingo caller, have I never heard the numbers called with such dexterity, with such mellifluity, with such euphonious abandon?
Well, you see, it's often overlooked as a craft and a skill. Bingo calling, Steve, is an art. It is to be admired. It is to be respected. It is, my friend, quite simply beautiful.
Only beautiful, my dear friend, when practiced by an artiste, by an entrepreneur of the ball, by such a skilled performer as you, Davy.
Oh, Steve, I suppose you have ambitions yourself, do you? A young man like you, you can't be more than 23 and 60 years.
23 and 60. It's actually quite old, Davy. But yes, correct. I am exactly 23 years old.
And you have ambitions to be a bingo caller like myself, do you? Here in Blackpool Tower in Whitby, the memorial to Blackpool Tower.
Oh, Davy,
We
I
don't
mean,
talk about
I could
that,
never
but
even
the
hope
Blackpool
to
Tower.
supplant you. I could never even hope to come close to the sort of talent I see when you call out those balls. I wouldn't presume. But, Davy, of course, should an opportunity present itself, and I'm not suggesting for a second that it would, well, I'd grab it like two fat ladies. I'd take the bill of I forget them already, but all of them, I'd take each of them, legs 11, I'd run with legs 11 as fast as I could for such a chance.
Well, perhaps, if the mood takes me, I may be inclined to share some of what I've learnt in my 60 years bingo calling.
Really, Davy? What's the most important thing you could share?
Oh, the most important thing is to love and respect your audience. Never take them for granted. They are not just competitors, they are admirers. And like any good artist, you are only as good as your audience.
Wow.
As I look out, as I make calls, I think to myself, just another handful of balls. It's more than just a game, you see. It's more than lottery. It's a beautiful, wonderful art form.
It's more than just a game. It's more than just a life. It's filled with splendor and wonder, and it makes your day seem right. And when practiced by an artist such as you, oh Davy, my friend, it's an art form. It's an art form to the end.
I can see in your eyes, Steve. I can see that you have the fire burning within you, the fire of every good bingo caller, a man who, with the right tuition, could make it to the very top. Television bingo calling.
Do you mean it? Television bingo calling.
I mean,
Davy,
television bingo
Davy.
calling.
Davy, thank you so much. I won't forget this day. I will not forget this day.
Money for the poor. Can anybody spare a pound? Can anybody spare a pound? Alms. Alms.
I remember you.
Your face is familiar to me.
Well, you did just video call me, old man.
Steve. Is that you?
Davy. What a poor little shred of a human being you've become.
Oh, never forget, Steve, I made you who you are today. I made you the man with the balls, the man who is ubiquitous on every television screen in
That's
the
right.
land.
Before I came to fame, well, there weren't that many bingo programs on television. Now, they're 10 a penny. Every single channel at 6 o'clock every weekday. Yeah, it's Surprise with Steve, Then over on ITV, it's Bingo. And then on Channel 4 late night, it's Legs 11 Uncovered. And not forgetting Big Balls, Little Ball. All of those programmes, my entire Bingo empire. And you, Steve, you, Davey, you claim that you're behind it all?
I am the key to your success. Never forget what I gave you. I didn't have to open my heart to you. I didn't have to share the wisdom that I built up over many years of refining my craft. And all you've done is to tread my good name into the ground. And look at me. I am a shadow of the man I was. A shadow. Forced to beg, just to make enough money to buy food. Have you no sympathy?
No. No, I don't, Davey. No, I don't. Now go away and don't video call me ever again. I'm 25 now. I'm too old for you.
If you do have a Monzo account, just transfer my details. Oh.
Sorry. The connection's breaking up, Davey. Thank you for tuning in to Steve Surprises, coming live from my home. It's been another wonderful Whitby evening, and you've been a great audience. Thank you and good night. Oh, I'm sorry, ladies and gents. I almost forgot. The most exciting bit of the program is when I get calls in from you, my beautiful audience at home, and ask me all the pertinent and pointless questions about how I am so wonderful. Last week, I told Linda and Lisette down there, Lisette from London. I told you how I happen to maintain my sex appeal. You remember what I said last week? This time, let's see who the random caller is calling me in this evening to ask about how Steve has got the studs. Okay, so let's bring in random caller. Okay, who is it? Hello, you're on live on air, no swearing.
Hello, it's Tara from Margate.
Tara from Margate?
Yes. This is a real honour for me to have the chance to speak to you. Oh, you're so admired in our house. Can I ask you a personal question?
Oh, of course. I mean, that's why you tuned in to Steve Surprises. What is it? You want to know about my Mega Millions? You want to know about my football team that I've recently bought? Do you want to know about... tell me, Tara. What do you want to know?
I don't wish to know about any of those.
Oh?
What I wish to know is, what first inspired you to get into bingo calling?
Oh, that, Tara, is a very, very good question. Well, as it happens, I was down by the seafront on Whitby by myself, alone, with no help from any other person. And I passed by a chip shop right down there on the seafront called the Lucky Duck. And it was at that moment I thought, there's something in this. There's something in that moment of magic when somebody wins a full house for the first time in their life. And there's something that you can facilitate as a caller. You know, you can make somebody's wildest dream come true. You can be the reason that they go home with a big, fluffy, stuffed teddy bear. And from that moment, all by myself, without any help from anybody else, I became a bingo caller. Hope that answers your question, Tara.
It answers it to an extent, but I had heard that actually there was another person involved in your rise to the top. It's me, Steve. It's me. Davy, the original bingo caller, the man who shared his life's work with you only to be trodden into the dust by your selfish arrogance and greed.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. That call has to be cut short. Don't know what Tara was on there, but I think maybe she'd had a little too much vinegar down there at the fish and chip shop. Maybe a few too many pickled eggs. Very sorry about that, ladies at home. I have no idea. Let me underline. I have no idea what Tara was talking about there. It definitely wasn't a true bit of my past. Oh, we've got another call on the line there. Let's cut to someone else. Hello, you're live on Steve Surprises. Who is it?
Oh, hey, this is Charisse from Texas.
Wow, caller from Texas. Lovely to hear you, Cerise.
You're such an inspiration to our family. I just had a brief question about how you got to where you got, because I heard you had a helping hand from a man called Davy, and he was your inspiration, and you trod him into the...
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got time for tonight on Steve's Special. God bless. Remember, if you're a fat lady, then your 11 legs will win you a duck. Good night, everybody. Good night. Okay. I did as you asked. Yeah. I called you. One last time. I'll hear you out. But quite frankly, that stunt you pulled it was below you. It was beneath you.
Oh, that's rich. Well,
yeah. You know what's rich? You know what's rich, Davy? You know what's rich? I'm rich.
Oh.
You're not.
You know what? There was a time when all I wanted from you was some monetary compensation. But you have pushed things so far that now I'm out for revenge.
Revenge, Davy? What revenge could you possibly wreak on me? Admittedly, you got below the fact that I never screen any of those calls, and the person responsible for my telephone hotline on the show has now been fired. So, in fact, all you've done is you put them out of work. You put them into the same position you're in. What revenge can you wreak on me, Davy? What revenge can you wreak on me?
Steve, that was just the tip of the iceberg. You don't want to know what evil I'm capable of. You will be ruining the day you crossed me.
Dream on, Davy. Dream on.
Oh,
yeah, sorry, yes. Yeah.
Before you cut me off,
Yes.
I think you should take a look inside your case of your favourite bingo calling balls. You may be in for something of a surprise.
What's that meant to mean, Davy?
Oh, just check.
Okay. What? Now?
Right now.
What? My case of bingo calling balls that I keep right here, always for this eventuality, because I'm a famous bingo caller, so definitely have some right here, right now.
I only need to see your reaction. I don't care for the balls themselves.
Oh. Okay. I'll do as you say. I don't know what this is about. All I'm saying is if you could just spare your way to sparing a couple of pounds, then I'd work extra hard for you, Mr. Davy. I'd do anything you want. If just a couple more pounds a week, please, Mr. Davy, please.
Oh, what a sorry sight. Well, I'm afraid I have no time for the likes of you and no money. Now, if you don't mind, I have a live show to present, and I don't need you getting in my way. Oh, And Stevie?
Yes, Mr.
Remember,
Davy. Yes, Mr. Davy. Anything, Mr. Davy. Anything you might like. Anything at all.
always check your balls. Good evening and welcome to another episode of Bingo Balls with me, Davy McLaughlin. This evening we have a total prize fund of £320 and 22 pence. Who's gonna be the lucky winner tonight? Can I get a yeehaw? Beautiful. Now, I'm going to start with our first ball of the evening. Roll those balls! And that is 3 £5 notes, 52. Roll those balls! Who's done this to my balls? Who has done this? Someone's going to get fired! Someone is going to get fired! Nobody touches my balls! Cut the cameras! Cut the cameras! You know, Stevie, I will have my revenge on you.
Thank you for tuning back into Stevie's Special USA Edition. That's right, I've come all the way from Whitby and picked up a bit of the accent on the way. This is the #1 primetime hit on NBC, CBS, and HBO Max, and I thank you once again for tuning in. Now, it's a funny story, but a mere 3 years ago, an American audience had hardly even heard of bingo whatsoever, and now it is the nation's pastime. Just think what a roller coaster the life of a bingo caller is. And I have to say, citizens of America, you have taken me into your arms like I'm one of your own. And I am so thankful to live in the greatest nation on earth now and to speak with the greatest nation on earth's accent too. Now, I remember when I first had the idea all by myself, all alone, of becoming a bingo caller. Way back 5 years ago now. And I was by myself. I was looking at a little pickled onion in the corner of what we call a fish and chip shop back in the United Kingdom. And I thought, there's an opportunity here to inspire the people of America. More balls, please. More balls, please. It's a life of excitement and ease as you lift the sacred flag and salute it every day. More balls, please. More balls, please. That's what the founding fathers believed. More balls, please. 'Cause with balls, please, you will never be unhappy or sad. And now, people of America, it's time for my favorite bit of the show. That's right, when I do a live call-in with citizens all across the country and help them with their personal problems. So if we have anybody on the line who needs a little bit of advice here from Stevie on Stevie's Special USA, go on, ring in, and I'll do my best in a spirit of humble gratitude to help you out. Who do we have on the line? Anyone on the line here?
Hey, yeah, this is Cassandra from New York.
Cassandra from New York, it's great to hear you. How you doing, Cassandra?
Yeah, good. Look, you're a real inspiration for us here in the Big Apple. So I want to thank you as a Brit for coming to our country and spreading the love.
Oh, please, the pleasure is all mine.
Now, I was at a family funeral the other day. A second cousin of ours, he'd lived 5 years and 20.
5 years and 20, wow, that's...
Of Davy McLaughlin. Do you know such a man? I believe you and he had a connection, and we're just trying to get the family tree together, you understand?
No, I've never heard of Davy. I don't know what you're talking about.
He died apparently with his bingo balls bulging out of his pockets and not a penny to his name. All he left was a little note that read, "Killed by the cruel behavior of Stevie." That's all he... that is all he left. Can you shed some light, Stevie?
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. There's no more time left on today's program. Wow, look at the time. Let's cut to a commercial break. I'm sorry, everyone. Good night. Good night. Good night. With this Ouija board, as the lights turned low, I, Steve Salmon, I summon thee. I summon thee, Davy. I think I can hear you. Is that you, Davy, or is that the downstairs door again? It does tend to creak in the wind.
This is Davy McLaughlin. Stevie Salmon. We met in life, and now we meet in death.
I can almost see you. Almost in that by that same window you always used to sit by. It's like
always
you're
by
still
the
here.
window. Even when begging for alms. Always by the window.
What do you want? What do you want of me, Davy? What do you want of me?
You're a man whose ambition got the better of him. Do you see what it's done?
Well, look. It's been quite a roller coaster, Davy. I was up there, I was on British TV, and then I was down, and then I was penniless, and then I was working for you, and then I was back, I was on the big time again, and then you come back. It seems like whenever I think I've escaped from you, then you're back. You're back to haunt me again. You're back with my every waking, living nightmare. It's like I can't escape you.
You, not only did you crush me into the dirt, but you were the start of the corporate machine. Follow me mentally to see in the mind's eye how you've exploited those most in need as you aimed to cut corners to increase profits for yourself. This is a little family from Alaska who invested all of their money in your bingo shows.
I'm following in my mind's eye, Davy. I'm following.
We have nothing. We gave all we have. Everything we have went to that man, Steve. He took our money, but worse, he took our souls.
Oh, this is horrifying. No, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, Davy. I'm not some kind of strange Ebenezer Scrooge. Don't make me confront my misdeeds any further.
Ebenezer Scrooge until they're shown that they are. Here, take a look at this family in the outback of Australia.
I'm following again in my mind's eye, Davy. I'm following.
Now, there was a time we ran a ranch and we had ample financial money. Not that other financial thing you get, but we had financial money. Now, we were so taken with this fella, Stevie, that we thought, hey, why not invest in his show? Why not be a part of this brilliant bingo ball fantasy? And so we sold our ranch, we sold our cattle, we sold everything we had, and it all went to that man. And what did we see as a result? Nothing. He took us off the maiden list, and we have absolutely nothing left to show for it, and I am out for blood because I can't feed my family. What do you say to that, Stevie?
No, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this anymore, Davy, please. There's always a third, and the third is always the most scary. Please tell me. Please tell me there's not a third.
Bring a third hat, but I might be able to come up with something.
Oh no, don't do it! What is that?
This is your wife. The woman you left to fund and devote yourself to the game of bingo.
Oh, but my wife had a German accent, I'm pretty sure. I remember reading somewhere.
Shit, this is right. We cannot always have all the details correct on the first occasion, but now we are underway. Yeah, you were very hostile to me in the last years of our relationship. I do not know if you remember. You shouted at me and you say you no longer love me because all you love is money and the game of bingo. And I said, this is not for better or for worse. This is our family. And now I am left with nothing. You exploited me like you exploited everybody else, and all you needed to do was think about somebody else but yourself for one day in your life. This is it. But you can't do that, because the most important thing for you has always been, and I fear always will be, yourself. Look into my eyes. Can't you see the suffering behind? Look through the windows of the soul. Can't you see there's more to life than this bingo rock and roll? Look at me. Your wife, and now your broken family. All I have left is my heart, my soul, this hat, and a space that is bereft.
Oh.
It's not too late, Steve. It's not too late.
David, no, come back, tell me. How can I change this? How can I set it all right? You're dead and Lisette, she's left me, and if only I could go back. If only I could go way, way back and do it all right from the very start. If only. So, do you really think there's something in it, this bingo calling for me, Davey? Could I ever be as great and as wonderful as you?
Bingo calling, you have to understand, Stevie, is an art, yes. But what's most important is that the person doing the calling has a heart to match the art. Do you have that heart?
Oh, it's funny, Davey. I feel like we've had this conversation before. Do you know what I mean? A weird déjà vu.
Do you know, I was hoping you'd say that.
Really?
Perhaps you do have what it takes. Perhaps, just maybe, if you show willing kindness and an openness to learn, you might be the man to take bingo's good name into the future. Oh, God knows, I haven't got as long left as I once had. That's a statement that's true of anybody at any point in time, but it's certainly true of me. So are you willing to learn? Are you willing to take the game of bingo forward with compassion?
You know what, Davey? No. No, I'm not.
No.
Davey, I don't know why, but I don't think I'm cut out to be a bingo caller.
Well,
I think you're the only true artist in the profession, and I'd love to invest, Davy, in your bingo career.
oh, my bingo career. Or perhaps you could oversee my philanthropic bingo fund.
Yeah, of course.
How are you with numbers? How are you with numbers, Steve?
Oh, I actually rather good. It's something I imagine if I
Six
ever
high
was
flyers.
I'm sorry?
6 high flyers.
Six
on.
high flies.
Bingo shorthand.
Yeah, no, I know that one. 6 high flies. Well, it's very simple, actually. 6 high flies. You look at the shape of the wings on the flies, which are like 3s. So it's 6 of them. So it's 8,888.
Correct. An octagonal heart.
An octagonal heart. Well, of course, that's like a 2, but with many sides. An octagonal 2 is 16. 16!
Correct. A flimsy shuttlecock.
Oh, you're making it too easy for me, of course. There are 2 people that play shuttlecock. But as soon as you mislay a flimsy one, then there's only 1 person left, so that's a number 1.
You and me, Steve. We're gonna go far. I can feel it.
Yes, we are, Davy.
Bingo. Yes?
Never let me forget, Davy, this moment. This moment right here. I feel this is when we become ourselves.
That's right. Now check your balls.
It's an art form. It's an art form. The calling and the picking up of balls. It's an art form. It's an art form. And it's one that can embrace us all.
But there's heart in the art. You've got to have heart to match your art. You've got to have love, compassion, and a great big soul if you're going to score that bingo goal.
And so we'll move forward with love, guided by the bingo caller from above. And so we say yes to it all. Now, Davy,
Check
your balls. That was tonight's story. Thank you very much. Let's bring Matt up here. Thank you so much, Matt. What a lovely story.
Wasn't it beautiful? Yeah, such florid poetic language at the end there. What a real takeaway message.
Who knew there was so much to inspire us there? Bang on, Matt. I think we're choosing a lovely title there. I forget who in the comments feed suggested that title, but beautiful.
Absolutely lovely. I'm sorry we didn't sing it as the title at some point, but we did. You did mention it at the start, and it was I envisaged a fantastic fish and chip shop.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone in the comments there said, "I want this cast album." Maybe we'll record that. We never know. Speaking of which, let's get Duncan Walsh Atkins up on screen. Duncan, thank you so much. Lovely as always.
You. Great work, guys.
And now this week, here's the big question. Every week on Isolation, we have a slightly different technical challenge. Duncan, could you hear both myself and Matt for the majority of that show?
Yes, actually, I had no sound problems at all. That's probably the first time.
Amazing. That might be the closest we've ever had to a clean show, everybody. Hopefully, everyone, I could certainly hear Duncan, Matt could hear Duncan. It's time to get out the champagne. It'll never, ever be repeated, but we are delighted for that happening the first time. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Just soloed Duncan there. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. This show will be right here every week for the foreseeable here on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Andrew D. Pugsley. Also on YouTube as well, if that is working this evening. I think it probably is. And we're right here at 8 o'clock UK time. Please, if you've enjoyed the show, do share it with your friends. Let other people know about it. It's lovely to have a bit of a party. And thank you again for the wonderful folks who tune in to us week after week. It's so nice to be creating stuff in these difficult times that people enjoy. Also, if you have enjoyed the show, you can see in the description for this feed, there are a few little ways you can help us out. You can subscribe to my Patreon. That's a little monthly subscription thing there that helps me create this and a few other things, lots of videos and fun stuff going up there. The details are there on the feed. Also, you can pay what you can for this episode. We know times are hard, so there's absolutely no pressure. But if you might have spent a couple of quid for this in the theatre, then you can chuck a few quid in the PayPal link there, should you have the means and feel so inspired. Lovely. Any final words, Mr. Cavendish?
No, thank you so much for tuning in, all those who have done. That was great fun. I loved it.
Fantastic. Duncan, any final words?
Thanks, everyone. Stay safe.
Thank you ever so much for tuning in. Once again, that is the end of our show. Thank you, and good night, everybody. Thank you.